Look into the camera. Do I need to say hi? State your name, your school and classification, and your position on Kasha.
My name is Jai Husband.
Hi, my name is Lynette White-Pierce.
My name is Danielle Yarbrough.
My name is Jamaica Jaffero.
And I am the production manager on Kasha.
And I am the first assistant director and the editor.
Supervising animator over the Bully Lusafo.
I am the director and animation supervisor in general of Kasha and the Zulu King, and I guess the writer and executive producer.
How would you like to live the life of a prince for a day?
What are you talking about?
The Atlanta Feature Animated Film Project is it's an idea that I had to mentor students from the AUC, my alma mater, through the production of an animated feature film. It didn't start out as a commercial creative property that BET is going to broadcast. It started out as just an internship project. A lot of the interns that come through Turner Broadcasting, which is where I'm a senior animation director, a lot of those students, none of those students historically really have been from the AUC. We were very much underrepresented in the internship process at Turner Studios where I work. And so I had always said I wanted to create an internship program specifically aimed and targeted at those students.
Both Jai and myself were alum of the Atlanta University Center of Spelman and Morehouse specifically, and we didn't have opportunities to be able to do animation. I was a theater studies major, he was an art major. We just didn't have those kinds of things available for us. So we decided to go back home, meaning to the AUC, and get students and talent and give them an opportunity to be able to learn from the best in the business, to also show their talent. A lot of people have raw talent that are on our team, and also to give people an inside look of what it's like to work on a full animation production from beginning to end, from drawings to sketches to background painting to VOs to the whole plethora of what it all takes to be in an animation production. So we wanted to pay it forward, if you will, by giving back and coming back and giving students, which is now what we call the Atlanta University Feature Animation Film Project.
As executive producer, I managed a student production team of about 30 students, and they all range from students that went to Clark Atlanta, Spelman, Morehouse, Art Institute of Atlanta, ITC, mainly the AUC schools. But basically, I wanted to make sure that the production task got done, so I was sort of the organizer, and I kept the communication going between the director, Jai, and the students to make sure that everything was rolling smoothly.
I became a part of the Kasha team when I heard Jai speaking at Spelman last semester, and he was talking about his career in animation and that he was making a movie featuring the AUC students and other students in different campuses. And I thought that'd be something very interesting to do, and I currently am pursuing an animation career, so I felt like I should jump on board and be a part of it.
I was brought onto the project by Jai Husband. He came to Clark Atlanta searching for animators and character designers and background painters and things like that. More of the art side of things. And I was taking a graphic design class over at Park Street at Clark Atlanta University. And I just so happened to be in that building when Jai was coming there searching for these particular people to become involved with the film. So he happened to walk into the room, and Professor Hickey, who was the chair of that department, was with him. And Professor Hickey was talking to some of the other students, letting them know who Jai was and what he would be doing, and what he would be speaking about. So he asked a few of them if they would stay. Off the bat, it didn't apply to me, so I almost left. I actually wasn't even supposed to be in the building that day. I didn't have class. I was just there studying. I was in the lab. I had a project due, whatever. But yeah, so I wasn't supposed to be there, and Jai walks in, and I asked Professor Hickey if I could stay and just listen to what he had to say. So Jai goes through his spiel, explaining exactly what the project entailed and what he was trying to do with the project. And at the end of things, I asked him, well, my exact words was, "Hi, how you doing? I'm James Frazier. I can't animate, I can't draw, I can't paint, but I do know production, editing, writing, directing, everything. So how can I contribute?" And his exact words were, "I need a first assistant director. Call me on Monday." This was a Friday, so called him on Monday and haven't looked back ever since.
I actually became part of the Kasha team as an actress. I found out about Kasha through my acting teacher for voice acting, which is what I really want to get into. So I emailed Jai and I was like, "Hey, I want to be a voice actress, but I kind of also want to get into this animation process. So how do I do that?" And Jai emailed me back and he was like, "Oh, just hang out with me and we're cool." I was like, "Okay." So I've been joined at Jai's hip ever since.
A couple of students that we brought in to the project were from schools outside the AUC, SCAD, and actually one student was a high school student, Jordan.
I became part of the Kasha team when one of my mom's clients, Monica Pearson, recommended me to be one of the artistic advisors kind of on the movie. And so I came in, met Jai, and showed him some of my artwork, and it went from there. And I became an animator after some good training.
There he is. Oh, you dead now.
How you gonna run from us wearing a dress like a little girl?
The animation process, as we're doing it, is sort of a traditional process that kind of meets a digital application. We're not animating on paper. We're doing this completely paperless on animation drawing tablets digitally. So it's sort of like a digital process where we storyboard the entire script. And this, like I said, the script had been written since I was in college. And actually we edited a little bit and really made sure that it was as good as it could be, and then submitted it to BET, and then we started to storyboard it. And once we storyboarded it, it was sort of putting images to the written word.
Most people don't realize that an animated film needs to be edited. They kind of assume that what's animated is what you see. Basically, the footage and scenes that are animated need to be fused together, and they need to find a certain flow. Without the editing of these sequences and scenes, you would just simply have that each individual animated sequence which stands alone and doesn't blend to make the full movie that you see on TV.
Since I've been on Kasha, I've definitely learned that animation is just as much challenging as it is fun. But in the end, when you see the result of all your hard work, it makes it all completely worth it.
There's so much details and thought process that goes into every single scene. You just can't take it for granted. And it's just an amazing and beautiful art that it's been around for a long time, and I know it will continue to be around for a long time because it invokes your imagination.
We take as much input from the students as possible. We allow them to make creative decisions. We also allow them leadership roles so that they're getting the opportunity to see what it's like to be an executive producer, to see what it's like to be an associate producer. We have production coordinators, we have PAs, we have people who just draw only, we have people that paint. So it's giving them a chance to get exposure in a space that they normally wouldn't get an opportunity to.
The work I've done on Kasha so far has involved many things. I've done Nandi's mother's voice. I have been a PA, so I filmed all of the footage of the celebrities' voiceover session. And then slowly I moved up to production manager. So as a production manager, what I do is make sure that everything is ticking. I put a lot of the meetings together. I coordinate all of the animators with Jai to come in for the animation sessions, and I make sure to get ETAs from everyone to make sure that they're doing their scenes and all that fun stuff.
Initially, just giving them the opportunity was really great, and then when I started working with them and giving them these production responsibilities and these storyboarding responsibilities and these character design responsibilities, they're I saw the light go on in their head, the twinkle in their eyes about being creative and creating something great, the way that I felt when I first started working in animation at Disney and then at other studios.
Provided me with this opportunity, I'm eternally grateful. But yeah, it's been an amazing time working with them. I've gained amounts of knowledge that no book could ever teach me, or no school or any educational system could ever show me, that I've learned from just hands-on experience and going throughout this process of making this movie happen.
The premise of Kasha, deals with self-esteem, and the notion that there are no limits to what you can do. Your self-worth comes from the fact that you're just here. And that's important for every young person. It's also important, especially in the Black community, where we have a lot of issues with generational poverty and high rates of imprisonment for Black men and things where young people who are raised in a sort of deleterious environment might think that they're limited because of their resources or their parents or their circumstances, and no matter what you've done, and that's what's so great about one of the most important things that is said in Kasha, that it's what you do with what you have that makes you what you are. And that's so important, and so that's really what we're all about, what we're doing. And at the end of the day, all this work and all this, just pressure and all these deadlines and the tremendous task of pulling together all these people to put together, this little bit of content, this 40 minutes worth of content, is about telling a story.
Jai told me that this was a college paper that he wrote, and look at it now. It's an animated film. It basically inspires me and hopefully others that dream big. Do whatever you can do. Be all that you can be, because you never know what your dream, even if it's just a little college paper, will be something fabulous that will inspire many to come.